I'm Constantine Alexander, and this is another music podcast. Our guest today is Summer Jane. I had the honor of being her first real recording session here at KA Studios, and I was blown away at how natural and comfortable she was in the recording studio. So we're going to talk about that recording session. We're going to talk about how the song came about, and then we will also get into her story as an artist. So right now we're going to put up a little snippet so you can take a listen. Then we're going to get into our conversation, and at the end, you'll hear her perform. Here is Summer Jane. Another music podcast.
Another music podcast?
What's up? Welcome to another music podcast. This is my very first episode with Summer Jane. We have Summer Jane. She's a good buddy of mine. How long have we known each other now?
Oh my gosh. I first moved here in like August of 2024, and I met you very shortly after that.
At a gig.
I
bring people on stage. It's part of my shtick or whatever you want to call it. But you were actually good. I do remember that. That I do remember because they're not always good, unfortunately. And so you were great.
My discovery story.
No, it was cool. It was cool, honestly. And then talk about, if you don't mind, because you can help me remember because I have a horrible memory.
Yeah.
So how did then Stetson? How did this work out?
Yeah. So basically, I've been like in and around the music scene in Austin, and I made a couple of really good friends with people that are gigging and you know, doing the writing and recording stuff, and everybody's super passionate. But I made a good friend, Steph Cash. She has a really sick band,
which hopefully we get on the podcast.
Yes, that would be so sick. I will watch that episode again and again and again. But she actually introduced me to Stetson, who's her guitar player and also a really talented musician and songwriter. For those
of you, I'm just gonna Stetson plug right now. Stetson is a great guitar player. He's actually gonna do a podcast as well. One of the episodes. Great guitar player, plays with many bands and has his own situation. But that's the Stetson we're gonna keep referring to.
Yes.
Not the hat for those who are confused.
No, it was just a hat that played the guitar, and he was hey, I know a dude.
Yes.
I know a dude that can set you up with some demos.
That's right. And it just so happened to have said, he said, I know a girl. Yeah, that's right. Because I remember he sent me a text and he said, I know this girl that needs demos done. Her name's Summer. And I was like, wait. And then I realized I've been following you, I think, since we met the first time on Instagram. And then, and I was like, wait, is it Summer Jane? He goes, yeah. I go, oh, dude, yeah, send her to me, please.
And obviously he said, oh, it's Constantine. And I was like, there's like one person I know with the name Constantine. Not many.
Austin.
So yeah. And I knew I was following you also. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like
So, and this was your first recording, was it not?
It's my first time ever in a studio.
Yes. And I'm going to say it in front of everybody. It was very impressive. I've worked with lots of people. For those of you who know me, you may know this information. Those of you who are watching this podcast for the first time, I'm an engineer, a producer, all of that stuff. I do a lot of recordings, this video, everything you're seeing, it's all me because I'm OCD and ADD and I like to do many things. But anyway, I say all that because again, that's what brought her into the studios, is that I'm an engineer and I recorded all that kind of stuff. But I have worked with quite a few people over my career of doing all this. And I will say, this is not just for the podcast. It's true. You were like, it was extremely professional. It was phenomenal. The vocal takes for somebody who's never been in a studio and just to understand how the recording works. And honestly, I was super impressed. That's the truth.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I mean, you were definitely very helpful in like the whole learning process. And I mean, I'm a quick learner, but like I was so nervous. I was so nervous going in there.
You don't show it very much.
Well, yeah. I think I was like in the room like doing this, and you were like, I can hear you moving, and I was like,
I don't know, man. You honestly, you were better than some people that have been in studios for years. It was a treat, honestly, being like on the other side of that. Just the takes. It wasn't like we had bad takes. We were just trying to get a certain one. And sometimes I'm just trying to get a take that works.
Well, honestly,
but not with you.
Honestly, I'm so excited to do it again sometime because
Cool.
I feel like
You're like, for the record.
for the record, I am I think that like now when I'm like performing live or even when I'm just like practicing in my room, I'm like, oh, this is what he meant by like try some modulation and like be
Right.
free and be fun. And like I think I was like very like my asshole was so
Yeah.
clenched the whole time.
Yes. I don't know if your asshole was clenched, but I mean, that's normal. You didn't come off. I'm telling you, dude.
Okay.
Like, and you know, as we moved on, you definitely loosened up.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
yeah. So the reason we're talking about this for those of you listening is the song you just heard was recorded here. So normally I ask people about the recording, how they, you know, production, but since I worked on it, I'm not going to ask her those questions because that's silly. That's extremely self-serving.
Bias.
So how did you get such a great sound? Just kidding. But it was a demo that we worked on. And so, again, in this podcast, first one, so I'm going to lay some groundwork, I guess, for those people who are watching future ones. It's really of interest to me what inspired songs, the person behind the music, and the production. I really like that part again, because I was in this one. We'll more talk about your experience during the production.
Mhm.
And we'll kind of dig into that further, but I want to basically, with that being said, I want to back up, to just some basic knowledge about Summer Jane.
Yeah.
So, first question, and I know we kind of talked about this during the recording, your first introduction to music, and I know that's a hard one to answer because of our conversation and your whole
back
family
so
does music.
far.
But can you kind of give me a little background?
Yeah, a little bit of I guess a broad brushstroke. I grew up in a very musical family. Grew up like my dad played the guitar, taught me how to like read, you know, the little charts and things, and my mom also my mom's stepfather was actually a recorded musician, a pretty famous artist in the Bahamas, and so they were always like super excited and passionate about his work as well. But some of my like earliest performances were in like Christmas plays, and I was like, my mom has this video of me as like a 2-year-old. If I can get it for you, I will.
I love it.
But I was like literally
I'll plug it into the episode.
I was like literally a 2-year-old, and I was like on stage. I was dressed up as like a little angel for a Christmas play, and I was just like screaming my
Great,
lungs
cute.
out.
How old were you? You said
2. I must have been like 2 or 3. Very, very little.
and when, sorry, I'm going to interject if you don't mind. When you say musical family, so you said stepdad, right?
Yeah, my mom's stepdad, so my grandfather.
Got it.
Yeah.
So can you? I if you don't mind, I want to also hear the other ones that are musical. You said the entire family.
Yes. Okay. So my mom, my dad, my sister is also, she's actually studying music right now. So she's majoring in music and psychology in Richmond, Virginia.
Cool.
And she's a phenomenal drummer, like so talented. And she's picked it up like
Very cool.
really, really well in the last couple of years that she's been there. But she's also learning engineering and mixing and all that stuff. And so,
cool. Very cool.
whenever I go home, it's just like, that's one of the things that we do together to bond and like celebrate. And
That's
like,
cool.
It's so
and you guys
fun.
have done that your whole life?
I think that,
You're like, after we fought, maybe.
Well, when we were growing up, I think that she was always a little bit more reserved, and she definitely wasn't as like outgoing or like expressive as I've just always been like, I don't.
You? I believe it. We got along immediately.
Yes, exactly. But like theater kid vibes, I've always been like very out there, not afraid to like get on stage and perform. Never had stage fright. But my sister was definitely more like, no, like I'm just gonna practice in my room and like.
Interesting.
Yeah. But she's definitely slowly overcoming that for sure. She's getting a lot more confident as she gets better.
So she was is a drummer and an engineer. You said.
Yep.
The mother, stepfather, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
My grandfather.
Grandpa?
My grandfather.
Okay, grandfather.
We can just call
You're
him.
like, just call me
Yeah.
grandpa.
Grandpa.
Singer?
Yes. Singer and writer.
Writer.
Mhm.
Mom?
She's passionate for sure. She also, I think.
She was a model, was she not?
Yes, she was.
I know this because you showed me her picture. And for the record, it was her mom's great looking woman.
I got a hot mom.
Yeah. Is that weird for me? I was going to say your mom's hot. But sorry to be weird, but she's a good looking human.
Yeah.
I mean, she went this and my mom. I was like, oh, wow, she's a model.
There you go. Yeah. So my mom was a model. And she also is musical. She's definitely like, I think she just does it because she enjoys it and because she thinks it's fun. She doesn't really like pursued it. But she has this fun story where she was pregnant with my younger sister, and she was like, I was drumming in a band with you when you were pregnant, and that's why you're a drummer. And she just like takes credit for everything, which is fine.
Okay, got it. So not just musicians, they're entertainers or people that are in front of people.
Yes, people that like to be in front of people, people that are creative. My dad also paints. And
so
like
they're all
writes,
artists.
yeah.
And outside of here, you also sculpt. Am I correct? Or wood chip? I don't know what you do. I know you talk about rocks.
The reason you said that is because I've shown you a picture of a rock that I carved.
Yes.
But
and
that's
I don't know
not
why
my
I said
main
wood
gig.
chiseling, but
That's not my main gig. No, so I actually did my undergrad at the Savannah College of Art and Design. And when I first got there, I thought I was going to be a painting major. So
very cool.
But thought I was going to be a painting major. I honestly thought I could have done a lot of things at SCAD because it's an art and design school. So I considered painting, I considered fashion, I considered music even.
Oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I also don't think I really understood the full breadth of like the music industry and how many different like it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Facets.
It's everywhere. So I wouldn't say that I like necessarily regret not studying music. I think I could have taken this obviously a lot farther and learned better like advocacy skills for myself as an artist.
Yeah. I mean, you're still doing it though.
I'm learning.
So you could have.
I'm learning.
No, you still can. Like, I'm just gonna say that's why I think you're on the podcast.
It's true.
Is hopefully so you promote yourself.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you are advocating, and I'm just gonna sorry to interrupt to compliment you. You are doing it right now. At least I think that's why you decided to come on the podcast.
Absolutely. And I think that like I'm a much better conversationalist than I am an Instagram poster. I've been off of like we talked about.
I'm
this.
with you. This is why I'm doing this.
But like
because of this.
Yeah.
Because it's better than us. Like, hey, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you can't either.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
This is a lot more genuine for me. When I was looking into grad school, big thing is where.
Mm-hmm.
And I had met a lot of people that had been to Austin or were from Austin and were like, hey, you got to check out UT and you got to check out Austin.
Very cool.
And Austin obviously has the moniker of being live music capital of the world.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, hey, if I go to school here and I can tap into like all of these resources, maybe I can really
Great. So you're not letting
else.
the dream die, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
Yeah, you're that's great. That's fantastic.
Yep. And I mean, I've absolutely plugged into like all the open mics in town.
I've been watching you, dude. So I'm going to interject here again. I'm going to talk good on you again, dude. I've been watching your live shows. I've been following your Instagram feeds and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a giant nerd. I'm serious, and I know we have like a brother. I don't know what I feel like a brotherly, sisterly bond thing going on already. And I'm very proud. I've been watching you, and it's so cool. I've been watching you kill the shows, dude. And I'm not just saying this for the podcast. It looks great. Like, dude, you're sounding fantastic. I can tell that the shows are getting bigger. I'm watching it. So whatever you're doing seems to be working. At least it appears that way to me.
Yeah, and I mean, it has been difficult while I've been here. I was playing, kind of trying to start up a band a little bit last year, but school definitely school and work got in the way. But I actually got really, really comfortable with learning new songs and just like I'm pretty like basic on the guitar because I really just picked it up to accompany myself.
Same.
But playing with other people has been like so like it really forces you to be like on your shit basically. So
it's a game changer, dude.
Was super, super grateful for that. And they introduced me to a ton of jams where you can just go and like play with other people.
Hence that's how you met Stetson, I'm guessing, all that stuff. And then brings us back to the recording, which I now want to talk about.
Okay.
So in terms of the recording, you don't have to go word for word on Bury Me in My Boots, but I'd like to hear your take on what it's about. What inspired it?
The song.
When did you come up with it? Why? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. This is actually so funny. I don't know if maybe this can be left in, but we were talking a little bit before this about how I just started therapy, and I'm a big journaler. Love journaling. So at the beginning of like to basically prep myself for my session, I went back and I was reading through my journals, and I was actually asking myself all these kind of similar questions, like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What is life? Blah. And I found my first draft of
What is life? Like,
what is life? Blah. I found my first draft of like "Bury Me in My Boots," and the journal
which was
entry.
written when, if you don't mind. I'm gonna interject a lot here. 'Cause I really want to.
Yes,
I love
okay.
this kind of stuff.
The journal entry was dated. Oh, I want to say it was like February, March of last year.
Okay.
So almost like a whole year ago.
Okay.
But yeah, so the journal entry was pretty early last year. And I was also going through a pretty rough time then with like housing, like roommate situations. And I was really using my music a lot as like a coping mechanism and a crutch, basically. But I had my main, I guess, like themes for songs have always been relationships.
Yeah.
And I was going out, doing open mics, meeting a lot of really creative people, and I was feeling like I wanted to be pushed outside of my comfort zone a little bit. So "Bury Me in My Boots" was kind of my idea to write about something other than a relationship or a feeling.
God, that's cool.
Yeah, so it was kind of.
So what is it about? I have a thought. But
we know what it's not about.
Yeah.
That's what it's not about.
Yeah.
But it is about the very like temporal nature of everything that we come in contact with. It's like knowing that all of this is temporary.
That's great. I love
And even like ourselves, like we are very temporary.
I love that, dude. That's dope. That's
ephemeral
deep
beings.
and dope. I love it. Yeah.
And so there's, obviously like throughout the song, it's talking about like this thing isn't gonna last, this thing isn't gonna last, this thing isn't gonna last, and even relationships don't last. So
you're like, so I still kind of got to talk about relationships, but not. I like that.
Yeah, and actually in the chorus, the line that says "they'll last me much longer than you," that was my sister's addition to the song, because I was really trying to stay away
the
from
sister
like,
we talked about earlier, the drummer / writer.
Yes,
God.
yes,
/ engineer / mix / producer.
Yes,
Is what I'm hearing.
So that was that was like the writing prompt. Then I really struggled with the process because I was like, I know what I want it to be about. I know that like, I want the boots to kind of be like that one thing where it's like, a girl's got to have a good pair of boots. So I was like, that's going to be the one thing that's going to last me.
You said you struggled with it though.
Yes, I struggled.
I would like to hear more about that.
I struggled because of the fact that it just like wasn't my typical material. I was like, okay, well, I don't really know how to write feelings into
it was just very alien or different for you or whatever.
Very different for me. So
sorry, this is where my brain goes. This is what I know this is weird, but this excites me to hear this. I want to hear how that struggle, like I want to hear literally, I want you to really take me to that process, how you got through it, like what was going through your brain, what did you do to change it up? Because I'm sure there's a lot of musicians that I've talked to that are interested in watching this podcast, and I think this would be, in my opinion, a good time to share your in more detail. I don't want to just go past it quickly because I think there's a lot of musicians that could pick up some tips from you, including myself, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think this would be a good time to talk about like my process in general.
Yeah, I'd love to.
But basically, because I had the writing prompt, I literally would just sit there with my guitar. And I think the main problem that I was having was Wait,
so sorry, let's go back to the writing prompt. I'm going to cut you off real quick. So you said you had the writing prompt. What do you mean when you say that?
Yes.
I want to really break this down.
Okay. So my writing prompt was to write a song about the fact that nothing lasts.
And you gave yourself that prompt.
That was the prompt.
Where did you get that prompt?
Oh, I got it. Yes. Sorry. I gave myself that prompt.
Got it.
But it also kind of came with the hook, "Bury me in my boots."
Okay. Sorry. I'm really to dig into this.
Okay.
So did you just have a thought in your brain of the phrase "bury me in my boots"?
Yes.
And then I'm just making sure I understand. And so you had "bury me in my boots" in your brain. That line, it just stuck.
It just popped in.
Great. Love it. So it stuck on you. You held on to it and you were like, this is about how things are temporary. It's just, you just equated the two. Love that, by the way. That's exciting to me. You can see my excitement. This is what I wanted to do on the podcast. You have no idea. This is the stuff I love, dude. Okay. So I'm very excited, right? As you can tell, because I'm just like so gunned up right now. Okay. So
that was the idea.
Okay, so the idea came. That idea was just a random line, popped in your head, "bury me in my boots," sounded cool. And then you just equated the thought of everything in life is temporary.
Yes.
Okay, take me from there.
Yes.
And again, I apologize for cutting you off, but
Okay.
I really love this
Okay.
stuff.
So I think that I was starting to come up with some analogies that kind of fit into this theme. I'm like, okay, nothing lasts forever. What are some things that are like, and I was asking my roommates, I was sitting in my just living room in my house. I was like, what can I write about that's like really would resonate with everybody, that like these things don't last.
And so you were inviting people.
I was. I could
normally with the relationship stuff. Were you doing that alone?
No. Yes. I was, before this song, strictly a solo writer.
Dude, so I relate to this 100%.
Yeah.
Everything was about my life and my struggles and all this shit, which again, I'm sure every musician's like, yeah, of course. But so I relate to that a lot. But you were, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying you just kind of did it different, completely different. You invited people into it, which is completely foreign to you. And you gave yourself a prompt, which I don't know if that's always the way you do it. And you made it not about relationships. And that was intentional. You purposely were not, it sounds like. This is wonderful stuff already. So now I understand deeper too now why you were struggling with it, because it was foreign.
Right.
It was not the way you normally did it.
Yes, it was not the way I normally did things. And I think that, so I started coming up with some analogies, and, I started talking about like the car and the guitar and the whiskey and the glass and like all these little things that I knew I wanted to tie in somehow. But I think the main sticking point for me was that I was stuck on the boots. I was like, okay, how do I bring the boots into the song? Because like I started with the bury me in my boots, everything's temporary. How do I make the connection that like this is actually a craft? Like boot making is actually like, some of these things are actually made to last a really, really long time. So I was like, I was
like, wait, so this guy,
I was doing,
that's already a struggle, right?
Exactly. So I was like, well, I was doing research, and I was like, okay, well, I actually did research into like how boots were made.
This is cool. I love this stuff, man. This is fantastic.
So there was a line that I was playing around with for a while where it was like stitching and lasting. So like when they're actually like stitching, and then the lasting is like, I think when they like put the soles onto the boots. But I was like, they were made by a craftsman. Like there's so many things that I could like, tie into the rhyming scheme. And I was just really struggling with it. And for a really long time, it just sat on my desk and in the notebook and in the drafts. And I was like, I was kind of giving up on it, low-key. And the real breakthrough that I had was when I went home and I showed it to my sister.
I love this sister thing keeps coming up. I love
the sister Kim keeps coming up. So I will say, like, it was definitely co-written by both of us. Like I was like, this is the idea.
It's a good song. I got a chance to listen to a few of them, obviously, because you recorded some of the demos here. There is some, and I showed people, by the way, as you know, and people kept latching on to it. So there's something to be said about that. Again, you and your sister seem to keep working together on things, and it seems that the product was really good, at least in my opinion. Yeah.
But she definitely, like, she could see the potential, and we sat down and I was like playing over these lines, but it was super choppy and like stanzas were kind of bleeding into one another and it wasn't making any sense. And she was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. She grabbed my guitar from me and she was like, all right, so first of all, we're going to put it in 3/4. We're going to do this number. We're going to change up some of these chords. And
straight up producer. I love her already.
Literally, like,
I want to meet the sister.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get her in here for sure.
I love that.
But yeah, so she just kind of started chopping it up, and a lot of the stuff that we kept was original. And but like I said, she threw in that line about they'll last me much longer than you.
That's great. I love that line. That's a great line.
Yeah. So I really honestly have her to thank for like the real meat and potatoes of it.
Well, I would Bury Me in Boots is a great line as well. I really think it's a very collaborative thing based off what you're telling me now. Yeah. I like her lines, but I think you really set a good foundation in my opinion. Cool. So I'm into it. I have a question though that keeps popping up in my head. Why did it take you so long to record is what I'm wondering. Because again, we know you grew up in a musical family. We know clearly you didn't have a problem singing on a mic. So that seems very comfortable to you from my observation. You've been writing songs for how long?
pretty much my whole life.
I
I think
figured.
my first like written song that I like put into a notes app and like put chords to. I think we talked about this too when we were recording, that I started with a piano.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we did. I don't remember.
Yeah, so I had a lot of music teachers
you did.
also growing up, and I just like kind of like learned a little bit of like playing piano in church and stuff like that. So I think the first song that I wrote was when I was maybe like 11.
What happened to that song? Where is it? I'm just curious.
Oh, it's there. It's
Do you
there.
remember it? Can you still play it?
Of course.
That's awesome. Right. I'm down to hear it.
Ah.
So you've been writing your whole life, which is what I assumed. Musical, artist, all this kind of stuff. I'm still trying to understand why. How old are you?
22.
You're 22. I already know that, but I want them to hear it. Why wait till? And I've had my own struggles with it and all that as well. So I'm not judging it. I'm more just wondering why wait till 22 to record your song for the first time, or any song for that.
I think. Well, first of all, growing up in the Bahamas, I don't know if we mentioned that. I'm from the Bahamas. I was.
You're like, everybody, for the record.
For the record, I grew up on a very, very small island called Elbow Key in Abaco, the Bahamas. And for a majority of my life, it wasn't an option. There were no resources.
Got it.
So there was no recording studio. At least that I was
old
aware
school.
of.
I like that. That's very interesting. That's cool.
It was never on the radar when I was growing up. I think the fact that I've always been a performer, I didn't really know how well I would transition into being a recorded artist rather than a live performer. Those are two very different skills. Obviously, like some of them are transferable.
I think you're very good at it, but continue.
Thank you. But I think there was also a pretty big fear of like, once you put something and you like concretize it, and it's like, now it's like in a final form.
Comes the rocks again. Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, couldn't know myself.
It's concrete.
Yeah.
It's cast in stone.
Sorry, you just I couldn't help it. My brain just did it.
Yeah, I think that my fear was that the novelty would wear off a little bit.
Interesting.
Because every time that you perform something live, it changes a little bit, and it's like a live living thing. But I also think that there was like a little bit of a judgment that I had towards myself, where it was like, you're trying too hard. It's like, you're really not that good. You know, you're your own worst critic.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if you start recording this now and you don't like fully pursue it, then you're just going to kind of bottom out, and it's, you know, it's going to become nothing. And it's like, I don't even need it to become anything. I'm completely content writing my songs and playing them for nobody.
Great. So it isn't even, you don't need the validation, for lack of better terms. So that's actually very inspiring.
Yeah. Which is why when I posted this song, when I uploaded it, I didn't post about it. I didn't tell anybody except like my family that I was. And
I noticed it's a demo. Like, I knew we did it as a demo, but you also even titled it as a demo.
I did.
Which is not the usual, which I like, by the way. I think it was cool. I noticed when I went on Spotify, for those of you who want to hear the full song, I'll link it, I think, somewhere in the podcast. That would probably be a smart move.
Hopefully. Yeah. If you remember.
We'll see. This is a new podcast, so I will try to remember to link it. But yeah, and there it says demo again, which I feel like a lot of artists, or at least me and others I've talked to, you know, we want to put out our final thing. And I actually admired that. I noticed it said demo, and I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, I also think that kind of just speaks to what I was just saying about like the very like temporal nature of the song. Like if you're just, you can tell this is a theme in my life.
I love it. It's dope.
But it feels less like, I think I'm afraid of like the final form. Like,
interesting.
Not that.
So rather than people wanting to put out that final form to show off what they do, you are actually almost the opposite.
Yeah, I think I would like for it to get to that point, but I think that because I haven't done it yet, I don't know what that looks like, and that's kind of scary.
I was going to also ask you, what is that? In my opinion, in my experience, So I like an artist named Gregory Alan Isakov. Do you know who that is? Okay. So he has recorded a song. I'm going blank on the name of it. It's one of his most popular songs. Can't think of it right now. But anyway, he's recorded, I believe, like 4 times. Right. And he does it with a symphony. He does, I think, like a more acoustic version. It's called Stable Song. That's what it's called. And I say this, I always bring him up as my example of he could call all them his final. Like it was a final. So it's a great production and he did it again and a great production and he did it again. So I'm just throwing this out there because it's just a thought I had. I don't know that it's ever final, period. Like the only thing that makes it final is you don't do it again, I guess. Yeah. But I'm just saying that because I don't know if that'll change your perspective at all. But as you said that, I immediately thought of Gregory Isakov and I went, oh, I'm inspired by that guy because it's not final. Because he goes, fuck it, I'll do it again for the 5th time.
Yeah.
I'll do it as a punk song. He can do whatever fucking it's his song.
Well, I think that's something that also really inspires me is the iteration process.
Yeah.
But you're the first producer that I've ever worked with. So I didn't understand what the role of that person even was.
Yeah. This was a demo. Yes. For those of you listening, this was a demo recording. It was intended to be a demo for your school.
Yes.
Right? You were turning it in for something?
Yes. So there was a project. There's a student group at UT called U Talent. And they basically take student artists and they require demos.
So it was a submission.
It was a submission, yes.
Got it. And that's all we were supposed to do.
That was all it was.
But then we started talking about doing again, I just don't want you to get into it without some background here.
Yes.
So then we talked about making the full production version of it.
Which was your idea.
Yes, because I was inspired by you.
Yes.
That is true.
Yes. But as far as my intention is concerned, I would love to see this thing go through to its final form.
Which is interesting. Hold on. You said it.
Yes, I did.
You understand why I'm stopping this, right?
Yes.
Okay. You just said, I'd love to see this. But you're talking about Bury Me in My Boots, the demo you did.
Yes.
You'd love to see it and go to its final form, which is interesting.
Yes.
Because a few minutes ago, you said you were scared of the final form.
Yes, but I think
so. I'm very excited to hear this.
Yes, I'm excited.
Changing in your brain?
I'm excited too because I think that the exposure is helping me get over that fear.
The exposure of what?
The exposure of me to this whole recording environment.
Right, great. I love
and
that.
producing and what it's all about.
I'm glad I can be a part of that. If I'm being honest, like in all honesty, not to be cheesy, I'm honored that you feel comfortable to work with me on it. I think that's neat. Yeah, and to be honest, I think it's made us better friends. Like you in a very short while or in a short amount of time, I feel like we've actually become like really sister brotherly or whatever. I honestly, you're very good people, man, and I think we just connect on it.
And you also have like so much more to teach me too. So.
Yeah, I mean, we have to learn a bunch of stuff. I thought you said I was going to meet your family at some point. You said you said that me and one of your parents is similar or something like that. You said something.
Yes.
I forgot what did you say again? You were like, you're very similar to somebody.
I just think that you would get along with them very well.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, we get along quite well. I'm assuming that I would get along with them too. I think you guys are also artists. I think that's also, I think we're just
it helps.
Here. Do you know what I mean?
We're all here.
Okay, so you do want to finalize a song. You do want to do a production. So with that said, though, whether it's with the same team we started with or a different team, are you going to produce that song fully?
Yes.
Can we look forward to that? If people see this and they go listen to the demo, are they going, and you don't have to commit to this, I just want to know, can they expect a full production version of the song?
Yeah, I hope so.
And what is that? How does that differ for you? I'm just curious. A full production. I mean, I obviously I know what it means as a producer, what I think it means, but I would like to understand what changes in your head.
I honestly don't know how to answer that because I think that.
Why not let this live the way it is then? Out of curiosity.
I think because I had already kind of decided that it was going to be a demo, and I also think that it could be recorded better. At least on my part.
Yeah, you got it. You're saying takes and stuff like that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I would say this was
I think we did it in a very condensed time, and it wasn't like...
It was less intentional. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
So you want a little more intentional production?
Yes.
Great.
That's great.
We're on the same page.
You took the words out of my mouth. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
The intention.
So We heard about where you began. We heard about what you're working on, the song. We talked about that. What's next for Summer Jane?
What's next for Summer Jane?
Other than the production, obviously.
I mean, I've continued to write. I'm always writing. I have.
Are you releasing any other songs?
I'll probably release the rest of the demos that we recorded.
Very cool.
As demos.
And
then I think I would. I think if I can fully finish Bury Me in My Boots, the full production, that will really open up my world in terms of like what is possible.
Yeah, because right now, I get what you're saying. We recorded that basic, for lack of better terms. It really was like 3 tracks of. I think we just had pads. I think.
Yep.
Guitar.
Yep.
Vocals. I think that was
little
it. Right? Little bass, and then some backing vocals.
Yep.
But yeah, no, and you again. I keep forgetting that it's your first time because you don't seem like it's your first time.
I don't know anything.
It's very interesting. Again. You wouldn't know it working with you. But you're saying you'd like to see what a full production sounds like. I'm guessing.
Yes.
More intention. And again, as a producer, again, because that was a demo you just needed quickly for school, I'd go into it very differently, obviously. But yeah, I would also, I think it's a cool song.
Yeah.
Again, we would chop things up, change some lyrics here and there.
Sure.
Musically, I think we're making it more interesting. That's what me and Stetson started working on. So yeah, I realized that would be your first full production. I just realized that while we're talking. So I would like to be a part of that with you. Yeah, I'm happy to do that for you. Cool. So it sounds like we have future full production tracks coming out, specifically Bury Me in My Boots.
Yes.
You're going to be releasing the other 3 songs, was it? Or 2 songs?
Other 2. 3 in total, but
I can't remember. I apologize.
It's okay.
They're good songs, but I can't remember how many we did. So 2 more songs, demos coming out. Shows, how do people get to see your shows or hear about you? Do you have a website or what's going on with that?
So right now it's really just Instagram and TikTok. I'll post like just literally me practicing in my room.
What
videos
is your
on there.
What is your Instagram and TikTok? So that
Instagram, okay, is it would be best if you link it, but Summer Jane 242 on Instagram. I think TikTok is probably the same, or Summer Jane.
So if people want to see what's going on, know about these releases, shows you're playing, they should follow you on TikTok or Instagram, I'm gathering.
Yes. Instagram probably primarily. Yes.
Okay.
In terms of website, and I'm kind of still, like I said, I was working with a band and school kind of got in the way, but I've been talking with a lot of artists that are kind of solo artists around Austin, and they've given me some really good hints on like how to get gigs and stuff like that. So I think, between semesters, if there's time is really the main thing for me right now. And I think something that Stetson said that was always really encouraging was the fact that like music's always going to be here.
It's great. It's great. I love that.
Yeah. So in terms of like what I'm doing right now, not a whole lot except for writing.
Stetson, I love that he's not on the podcast right now, and he's like this this wise person we keep referring to. Okay, but I love the line, actually. Sorry, that really is a good one. Like, it'll always be there, which is great.
Yeah.
Because sometimes as an artist myself, I stop doing that. I work on something else, like a podcast, for instance, and I don't do music for a while.
Yep.
And I go, oh man, I'm not productive. And then I end up being more inspired to actually write songs. So
exactly.
I love that line. It's a great line.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about a little bit about what you're going to perform for us.
Okay.
Just so we can kind of get set up for that.
Yeah. So like I said, I've continued writing. I have been continuing to challenge myself with topics other than relationships. So I thought it would be a good this is probably the newest one, and I think it's actually changed since the one I told you I was going to play. But it doesn't have a title yet, and I am notorious for not wanting to name my songs. But this one is about I wrote it kind of in between being home for the holidays and being in Austin, and I was really reflecting on like just how different like life is whenever I go back home, and I think a lot of people can relate to that too, where it's like where's
back home again?
Back home is in the Bahamas.
Yeah, no. I want to throw it in there since you said it earlier.
On a tiny little island.
You said, for those of you, did I say Bahamas? So make sure you said it again.
But yeah, so I grew up very completely different lifestyle than what I'm living in now.
Not like Texas, huh?
Not like
The Bahamas
Texas
is nothing like Texas
at all. And I mean, especially Austin. This is the biggest city that I've ever lived in.
Oh, interesting.
Like I said, I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. Savannah's a pretty small, very like barely could be called a city. And then moving here, I've just kind of been like ramping up the pace
Mhm.
and the ambition and all of that is really good. But I think that at my core, I'm a really slow, intentional. Like I probably will retire one day, very off the grid.
Yeah, I love it. Back to the Bahamas.
Maybe it's always on the table. But there's a whole world out there. So this song is kind of about like not really wanting to get caught up in the rat race and not really wanting to be super on all the time and super stressed and so
I love this. So you're still off the relationship thing,
am.
and I love this, dude.
Yep.
So I love that. Okay, and no name for it right now.
No name right now. Maybe you can help me come up with a title.
And
We'll
this,
see.
I'm sure I will. You know me. Or at least I'll have a million suggestions for you. And do you tend to record this, or what's happening with this?
I would love to. And
I mean,
think
this is going to be a demo right here too, just so you know.
Okay.
This audio I'm going to be mixing fully, so you can utilize this
Okay.
as well.
Oh my
just
gosh,
so you
wait, that's so intense.
know. We don't have to. You can also might just be for the podcast.
Sure.
Whatever you choose.
Okay. Well, we'll see how well I can play it. Because it is me on the guitar, and like I said, I'm pretty shit at playing the guitar. So, but yeah, and I think that what I like about this is that, like I said, it's super new. So it's in a stage where like, yeah, I'm going to be super open to suggestions. I'm going to be like, you should change this. You should change
So we're
this.
getting this super raw, super just.
It's like a week off the press.
That's what I was going to ask you. So just got finished.
Yep.
And it's got no name even.
Yeah.
And you're going to share it with us.
I'm going to share it.
Fucking awesome. All right, cool. So we know how to find you. We talked about the song. We talked about how this all began with you. Is there anything else you want to share before you perform for us?
Is there anything else? I don't know. I think that my writing, and like I said, like working with like a band and other musicians who are really talented, how it kind of forced me to really like get better and also practice just a lot more. I really would like to find something that's going to keep me in the loop. And I think producing is probably a good way to do that. Just like, keep the skills fresh.
It sounds like you like to be challenged, is what I'm guessing.
Definitely.
Because you said that's what Stetson did. That's what I did. That's great. I love that. I love that you're into that.
Definitely.
It's fantastic.
And I think in terms of writing, I obviously would love the opportunity to write with others more, because I think that like.
Have you thought about joining a writing group or anything like that?
Actually I have. There is a writing group. I'm actually blanking on what it's called, but because we just got done with the holidays, it hasn't really kicked off yet. But yeah,
Great.
Those are.
I love that. So I'm excited. So it sounds like we have more songs coming, more productions coming, more demos, it sounds like, as well.
Yes.
And we get to hear you perform live now. All right, cool. Well, thank you for being a part of this podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Episode 1, dude.
Yay!
Appreciate you on.
I grew up young and wild and free, somewhere warm where the shoreline meets the sea. I was luckier, I thought, when I left home, but leaving home I found makes you alone. I spent so long doing what they tell me. Do your time and make that dime and you'll be happy. But how did I get to life in the fast lane, moving out west where nobody knows my name? Ain't it a shame? That small town girl that lives within me, she still wants to sail the 7 seas, but it ain't easy.
that time and all that money, it corrupts you. I'm still here punching that old clock. If I meet the right man, then maybe I can stop. The days go slow and the years, they just fly by. And I ain't got no babies to hear my lullabies. How did I get to life in the fast lane? Moving out west where nobody knows my name. Ain't it a shame? That small town girl that lives within me, she still wants to sail the 7 seas. But it ain't easy when you spend so long doing what they tell you. All that time and all that money, it consumes you. So what if I live to do, my dear? Can I run away? Can I shake the fear that I'll never find what I need if I don't get the hell out of this city? I'm tired of living life in the fast lane here in Texas where nobody knows my name. That small town girl that lives within me, she still wants to sail the 7 seas. But it ain't easy when you spend so long doing what they tell you. All that time and all that money, it becomes you.
You've been listening to another music podcast with Constantine Alexander. If you want to watch more episodes or learn more about KA Studios, head on over to kastudioshq.com.